time for us to move out.
Oh no! Those ding-dongs went back to the Lost World!
The Lost World. The world's most dangerous place.
Came here to live a life of adventure, like you.
It's time to get buck wild.
The Ice Age, Adventures of Buck Wild. Stream sekarang di Disney Plus Hotstar. Pelanggan Pack Movies, aktifkan sekarang di astro.com.my/Disney.
Good evening, I'm Cynthia Ng. You are tuning in to AWANI Tonight. Malaysia plans to fully reopen its borders next month. An Omicron wave intensifies, infections near 14,000, but mostly mild cases. That's coming up. The National Recovery Council has agreed to fully open the country's borders by March 1st without the need for mandatory quarantine. Council Chairman Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin says the move will help support Malaysia's economic recovery.
Dalam hubungan ini, Majlis bersetuju supaya sempadan negara dapat dibuka sepenuhnya seawal 1 Mac 2022 tanpa keperluan untuk kuarantin wajib. Namun begitu, ujian COVID-19 sebelum berlepas dan sejurus tiba di pintu sempadan negara perlu dilakukan mengikut syur KKM.
The Health Ministry, he said, will announce the full details on the requirements and SOPs of the border reopening soon. Starting this Friday, temperature checks and logbook check-ins will no longer be required before entering any premises. Senior Defence Minister Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Hussein, however, says that check-ins via the MySejahtera application remain compulsory.
Mengambil kira pandangan dari KKM mesyuarat kotak hari ini turut menetapkan bahawa SOP pemeriksaan suhu badan dan buku rekod check-in akan dimansuhkan bermula 11 Februari. Dengan pemansuhan ini, pihak pemilik premis tidak lagi diwajibkan untuk menyediakan alat pengimbas suhu dan buku rekod check-in di pintu-pintu masuk premis masing-masing. Namun check-in ini menggunakan aplikasi MySejahtera masih diwajibkan seperti biasa.
At a press conference today, he added that premises or businesses that prefer to retain the temperature checks are allowed to do so. Meanwhile, Hishamuddin announced a new series of SOPs for Umrah travelers effective on February 14th. Among them are a compulsory booster dose and allowing pilgrims to quarantine at home.
The economic and industrial sectors will not go into total lockdown even if COVID cases rise exponentially. Senior Minister of International Trade and Industry, Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, says his ministry will take on a more targeted approach by closing down only affected industries.
Focus would also be on getting employees vaccinated. He added that the COVID-19 Public-Private Partnership Industrial Immunization Program was to ensure that those from the industrial and manufacturing sectors who are at higher risk than other sectors are vaccinated. Azmin said the previous closure of the economic sectors had had a huge impact on the economy, causing more than 826,000 people to lose their jobs in the first 3 months of the total lockdown in 2020.
99.5% of the new COVID cases reported in the past 24 hours are in categories 1 and 2 or mild symptoms. According to Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah, hospitalization rate remained stable to date even as cases surge. Malaysia recorded nearly 14,000 new cases today, a sharp spike from yesterday in what is likely to be the start of a new wave fueled by the more contagious Omicron variant. Dr. Nur Hisham adds that as of yesterday, only 40% of total beds allocated for COVID-19 patients had been utilized. The Ministry of Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs and the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Industries are working hand in hand to find the best solution to overcome the shortage of eggs. Deputy Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Rosul Wahid said it had received complaints regarding insufficient supply of eggs and initiatives are underway to resolve the issue.
In a press conference, Rosul said with Ramadan coming soon, an abundant supply of eggs are needed by suppliers and traders of essential festive items like kuih raya. Therefore, he added that both the ministries are working together to ensure that the price and supply remain stable during this period. Yesterday, media reported that the Federation of Livestock Farmers Association of Malaysia, FLFAM, expected the shortage of eggs in the market to linger until Ramadan, which is allegedly due to the increase in farmer production costs. According to data, Malaysia consumes about 30 million chicken eggs a day or 930 million a month nationwide.
More in a few minutes. Stay tuned.
Selamat datang ke Yang Mana Satu Idaman You. Jika anda ada RM109, mana satu yang anda mahu? 90 saluran Astro atau internet laju? Persoalannya, kenapa you kena pilih kalau semuanya ada dengan bundle jimat, internet laju dan 90 saluran Astro hanya RM109 sebulan sahaja? Kan? Call 03-7481-3000 sebelum promosi habis.
Bumi. Waktu sarapan kini, waktu belajar sambil bermain.
Bumi.
Coco Crunch DHA. Bijirin sarapan berbentuk huruf dan yang pertama dengan DHA.
Planet, globe, dunia.
Coco Crunch DHA. Terokai dengan keriangan.
Crunchy Crunch Coco Crunch.
Pelan Pemulihan Negara PPN dan bajet 2022 akan menjadi teras kepada usaha pemulihan dan pembaharuan Malaysia. Kebenaran rentas negeri yang diberikan kepada individu lengkap vaksinasi memberi sinar positif kepada sektor termasuk pelancongan domestik. Malaysia merekodkan 14 penyelesaian melibatkan modal pasaran berjumlah RM1.5 bilion dalam tempoh 6 bulan pertama tahun ini.
With Indonesia's new capital Nusantara situated in Borneo, there are plenty potential to be tapped into. University Malaysia Sabah's economist Dr. James Alin says that one such measure is to develop a triangle growth area that will make the sub-region more attractive to regional and international investors.
We have ASEAN Economic Community, ASEAN, federal actually is, we have a good relationship as an ASEAN member, Malaysia, Indonesia. That's already good. And so, state government, for now, I noticed that the discussion is talking about state government cannot do this and that because federal government is not taking any initiative. You know, this kind of blaming one another is not going to be good. Actually, state government can do of their own because Tawau is in Sabah State, and Nusantara is in Kalimantan Timur. It's a province, autonomous province of Indonesia. So what the state government can do is to work together with the Kalimantan Timur province government in order to develop a triangle growth area in Tawau, half area Kalimantan Utara, and half our side. What is this growth triangle area of Tawau and Kalimantan Utara and Kalimantan Timur for? At this moment, as you know it, we have large Indonesian workers in Sabah, of course in Malaysia too. They come here for economic opportunity for sure. When we have this growth area means imply we have industry together. We work together to build industry. Certain industry we agree on based on what we have. When we have this growth area, those Indonesians don't have a reason to move in or illegally or legally to Sabah. They just stay there at the territory. They have a job. So we win, they win.
The Philippines presidential election campaign kicked off today, 3 months ahead of polling day, where the country will choose a new leader for the next 6 years. Leading the race is son of former dictator Ferdinand Marcos, who hopes to succeed Rodrigo Duterte and return his clan to the presidential palace.
Over 35 years after the country emerged from his father's dictatorship, polls showed Ferdinand Marcos Jr., also known as Bongbong, is heading towards a landslide victory in the May 9th elections. Trailing behind him is incumbent Vice President Maria Leonor or Leni Robredo, celebrity mayor Francisco Domagoso or Isko Moreno, boxing superstar Manny Pacquiao, and ex-police chief Panfilo Lacson. With COVID-19 still a threat, the candidates are expected to utilize digital platforms to woo the youth, who comprise more than half of the total registered voters. At least 67.5 million Filipinos have registered to vote, including 1.8 million voters overseas.
China is planning to invite more spectators to attend the Winter Olympics as the COVID situation is under control. The Games is held under a strict closed-loop bubble that separates all event personnel from the public. No tickets were sold to the public. Only a selected number of spectators from targeted groups were invited to attend the Games. Under the closed-loop system, spectators are separated from athletes and other people by going in and out through specific gates and sitting in the designated area at Games venues. They must also undergo multiple COVID-19 tests and weeks-long health checks before and after the events. The Beijing Olympics Organizing Committee reported 0 COVID-19 cases among new airport arrivals and 6 new positive cases from people already in the closed loop, the lowest daily tally in 2 weeks. Hong Kong has imposed its toughest COVID curbs yet, announcing a ban on private gatherings of more than 2 families, the first time the city has applied restrictions to homes. While in public, all gatherings will now be capped at 2 people, down from 4.
City leader Carrie Lam, however, did not detail how restrictions in homes would be enforced. Her government also announced the closure of more public venues, including houses of worship, starting Thursday. Like mainland China, Hong Kong has adhered to a staunch zero-COVID policy that has kept infections low through targeted lockdowns and prolonged social distancing measures. The approach has left Hong Kong one of the most isolated major cities in the world.
A convoy of trucks and cars blocked streets near New Zealand's Parliament in Wellington today to protest against COVID-19 restrictions, inspired by a similar demonstration in Canada. Hundreds of vehicles parked in streets surrounding the Parliament building, while hundreds more drove around the city blaring horns. The mostly unmasked protesters said that their concerns about rights being eroded were not being heard by the government. New Zealand had mandated certain workers to be vaccinated against COVID, including those in health, law enforcement, education and defense. Last week's meeting between past President Tan Sri Hadi Awang and the Taliban delegates has highlighted the complex considerations countries must weigh when engaging Afghanistan. Tonight on Consider This, we speak to analysts about Malaysia's approach. And that is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Get the latest news updates. They're all on astroawani.com or the Astro AWANI app. I'm Cynthia Ng. Thank you for watching.
Hi.
Have we met?
I've had dreams that weren't just dreams. Time to fly.